Grant, is that James Maxwell has signed a new contract. How pleased are you to get that done?
Yeah, really pleased. He's an important part of what we want to do moving forward. We feel like he's progressing and improving all the time. It's been a bit of a stop-start season for him in terms of knocks and niggles. Has kept him out for a little bit, particularly the early part of the season. But his form since the turn of the year has been excellent. And then we're really happy for him to agree a new deal.
He's spoken about a belief within the squad that the club is moving in the right direction. They have a lot of trust in the staff. Do you really sort of get that sense within the dressing room at the moment?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I believe it's taken a little bit longer than we probably anticipated. Just to get the full buy-in and from everybody really in the football club, and we feel like we're improving all the time as a team and as a squad. We're working to improve things all the time, and I feel like there's a lot of players in good form. A lot of players that's come back from injury. The squad's looked healthier, so I think there's a lot of factors into that as well in terms of how we're performing and why the results are coming now. So we just want to try and continue it, Rob. Really, we just want to try and continue and have a real good end of the season, mate, and see where we go.
You must like it as a manager when a player is asked, why have you signed to stay at this football club, and he says, I want to win promotion. You know, I want to make sure that during the term of this deal that this club's back in League One. Is that music to your ears as a boss? Yeah,
absolutely. We love people who have that sort of determination and that drive to succeed, and particularly when I think back to when I was a player, you know, you have that drive to have that, you know, them promotions under your belt, and I was fortunate enough to do it at three different clubs and 3 different venues. I think it's quite unique. I don't think anyone's done that before. 3 playoff finals in 3 different venues. But it's something that you always think back on, and with great times and great memories. You never forget those players that you played with, for example, and the managers that managed the teams that time, and you always look back in real high regard of them. So I understand what James is saying. We want to try and create that at this football club at some point, where we've got a team that's got a real hope and challenge for it, and you know, we hopefully long may this sort of run continue for us to the end of the season and see where we go. But we are trying to build all around the club and trying to improve everything as we go forward.
Is anything else close in terms of getting deals done?
Yes, there is a few others that have accepted, and we're working hard and behind the scenes to try and create the group that we feel that can help us next season and put us in a good place from the off. Really, I feel like, you know, we don't. There is a lot of players out of contract, but we don't want a huge turnaround where there's 20 players leaving and 20 new players coming in. It won't be like that. We want to try and continue with a bit of continuity of what we've seen over the last 9-10 games, and then add a little bit of a sprinkle to it in the summer with our recruitment. So we're always working hard behind the scenes to improve us, whether it's some of the players that's here or players that we're looking for next season.
You've won 5 of your last 8 games, a couple of draws as well, just the 1 defeat. So how would you assess this run at the moment?
Yeah, fine, good. I think the defeat at Walsall still hurts me, because it was a decision that we made as a staff on a set play that cost us. But yeah, I think the lads have been in good form, and confidence is good. We feel like we're playing well. So long may it continue.
Although at times this season it's been challenging, how much have you enjoyed these last few weeks being the manager at Doncaster?
I've enjoyed since I've been back. I really have, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth. We knew that there'd be obstacles through the season, and probably didn't anticipate it being as many as we've seen and had. I think there's been a lot of mitigating circumstances in terms of turnover of some of the staff members, players that's been unavailable. But look, I've never been one for excuses, but it's certainly not helped us when you've had 14 or 15 players at certain stages of the season. What's been pleasing is we've managed to get a little bit of continuity in terms of the team selection. Not too many changes to the personnel, although there was a few last week, but all those players that missed last week are back for this week. And I think it started to come together nicely, and we can feel the difference in the players and see the difference on the training ground. They're playing with a lot of confidence, which is pleasing.
In fairness, you did do a press conference quite some time ago this season where you said when you get to this time of year, I think you said February or March, that you'd get a lot of players back, things would settle down, and that you felt the team would be in a good place. Is that what we've seen play out, do you think, during this time?
Yeah, I believe so. I think we've been much better, and I think everyone can see that over the last 8-9 games. I think we've been certainly much better. Even at Walsall, I said after the game, even though we lost the game, I thought our performance was good. Maybe we didn't show that ruthless edge that we've shown in some of the games, but our performance levels were good. And when you see that, you know that we can get results. I think the boys that came in January added quality to us and helped the group, and that was really important to make sure that recruitment was good in January. But also players coming off the injury table, staying fit, looking good, looking much more at home here, has definitely helped our performances and our results.
The sense that you get, at least to the fans that we've spoken to over the last few weeks, is that the supporters seem to really reconnected again. They've really taken to certain players as well, a delicate and obvious one, but also the likes of Richard Wood with the way that he's been playing. How much does all of that help? That there just seems to be a bit of a feel-good factor around the place at the minute.
Yeah, I think, when you, at any football club, and any manager will tell you at any football club, when you feel that connection from your fan base, and the players can feel that, then it gives you a real chance. And we have felt that all season here, even through dark times and dark results. And I remember the spell we went through when we got beat against Bradford and Morecambe, and in games at home where we got beat really easily. I never once felt that the fans were against us. I always knew that they will stick by us, and hopefully we're rewarding them a little bit now with the results and the performances. And we just as a staff here, Rob, and the players, we speak about it all the time. We just want to make sure the fans are connected to us and reconnected to us, and I think they are. And give them performances and the results that they crave for, and ultimately, the more we continue to play well, the more we win, the more fans will come through the gate, and the more support we'll get. So I think it's a byproduct of everything, really.
You win your games in hand. At least looking at the table, it's not totally out of the question that you could make a late push at the top 7. Is that at all on your mind at the moment? Is that still a possibility, do you think?
To be honest, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and it's something I've always done, whether I'm playing or managing or even in everyday life. I do put pressure on myself, and that's the way I like to work. I was actually laying in bed with my wife the other day, and I actually said that to her, just what you told me, and she said, "Well, I don't know why you put so much pressure on yourself." But I think she knows me now. But for me, and for this group, it's all about the next game, really. It's all about that 18-game table that I spoke about 3-4 weeks ago. Can we finish at the top of that? Over the last 8 games, we are top of it. Over the last 9, I think we're probably top 3. We've got another 9 to go, and if we can finish at the top of that 18 table, who knows where we'll be. But we've got tough games coming up. Very tough game on Saturday against a well-organised Forest Green team, and it doesn't surprise me how well they're doing under Steve, because I know him very well, my ex-manager at Cheltenham. This will be the toughest game we've had for a long time on Saturday. I really do believe that.
Yeah, what kind of a challenge will they be? Because you look at the table and they're down there, but they feel like a very different animal than Forest Green were a few months ago, don't they?
Yeah, I think there's a huge change. I mean, they've started the season a real fluent football team. Lots of movements, lots of rotations, different sort of shape. Then Troy came in, tried to make them a bit more solid, and then obviously Steve's come in and certainly made them more solid and picked up results. So there's been a lot of change at Forest Green, but one thing we have noticed is the recruitment was very good in January. I think they spent a little bit of money to try and get themselves out of trouble. So credit to the chairman for doing that for them. They've appointed a manager that knows League 2, League 1, the Championship like the back of his hand. So we're under no illusions what we're coming up against. This will be a very tough game, and a team that's hurting from the result that they had last weekend as well. But you know, they've beaten some really good teams over the last few weeks, so we know it'll be really, really tough.
And what are your memories of working with Steve Cotterill, who very experienced manager now, isn't he? And certainly knows what he's doing.
I owe a lot to Steve, and I always say that to him when I see him and when I manage against him and stuff, because I was a young lad at West Ham and probably losing my way a little bit, not understanding what it took to be a footballer. And the loan that I had at Cheltenham when he was the manager at Cheltenham just turned me into a man, really. The way he managed, the way he galvanised a group, you know, brought that Cheltenham team through from the National League into League 2, and had a massive say in bringing up into League 1 as well before he left. So listen, I owe him a lot. He certainly turned me into a man when I was playing, and he's since then he's had a tremendous career, and he's been, you know, he's had some dark times himself with his health, and it's great to see him getting over that and doing a good job. But I hope he can keep Forest Green up. I hope we beat them on Saturday, but after that I hope he keeps them up, because I've got a lot of respect for Steve.